Hello and welcome every one of you in this next class of earthquake resistant design of buildings. So basically we are going to begin with analysis of single degree of freedom system SDOF, and then we will also discuss about multiple degree of freedom systems analysis, that is MDOF. So basically before starting structural dynamics, one must be well versed in the topic of vibrations, the basic, which is the foundation of structural dynamics. So you all of you must have studied in your secondary education on the topic vibrations or maybe oscillations. So what is this vibrations, which is also called many a time oscillations, and it is also said as to and fro motions. Okay, so let us begin with this topic, and we know that the vibrations are very important and crucial. If we see, the existence of life depends on vibrations, and we have been always may not be aware of vibrations, but involuntarily there are many actions which is being performed in our metabolism of life, like beating of heart itself a perfect example of vibrations, though the rate of vibration may be slow and fast sometime. Okay, similarly we can't hear, speak and express without vibrations. When you meet a friend, you get some vibes, isn't it? And if you meet your enemy, you get some another vibes from him. So these vibes are also some vibrations. There are some vibrations on gross levels and some vibration on subtler levels. Okay, so it's there, isn't it? And similarly, not just in our own life, if we look at microscopic level, even atoms are vibrating when we start hitting them, and when it reaches a certain temperature, they changes their state from solid to gas, isn't it? Solid to liquid to gas, like that. Okay, and not just at microscopic level, if you go to a macroscopic level, from infinitesimal to the infinite, that is our universe, the entire universe also is being governed by these periodic motions. So periodic motions are always there, like planets are rotating in certain period. Okay, and day and night which is occurring, that is also a fluctuation, like a vibration only, isn't it? Vibration of time, you can say like this. And there are different seasons which is occurring. So all this are examples of vibrations on different scales, different contexts, like that you can understand. Okay, so why its study is important in regard of civil engineering, why vibration have become so much important for all of us. See, with the advancement of technology, we all see that now we are going to construct mega structures that have a height even up to 1 kilometer, isn't it? More than 1 kilometer from the deep foundation to the apex. The Burj Khalifa is the perfect example, and there are many towers, isn't it? So all those tall structures are subjected to the wind load at the top and earthquake shakings, uh, although at a certain period of time only in the year at the foundation. Okay, so wind load and earthquake load both are a case of a dynamic load which vibrate the structure. Okay, so this vibration of structure, specifically the taller structures, are very important to be studied. So that's why, as a civil engineer, we must be well versed in the knowledge of these dynamic loadings. And dynamic loadings can also be because of some loading due to some machines which has been installed in the buildings. Suppose if I construct a lab, civil engineering lab, and there is a compactor machine on which we compact the concrete, so that machine is vibrating continuously, and if I install it on the fourth floor, so the floor on which I install it is also vibrating. So we have to study, incorporate that vibration due to that installed machine also on the design of that floor, isn't it? So that's why most of these vibrating machines are installed at the ground level only, ground floor only, isn't it? In our case also. So vibration is very important in case of buildings and different structures. Okay. So many a times I have been taking classes on these vibrations, and many students ask what is the difference between this vibration and oscillations. See, generally there is not much significant difference between these two terms, but of course it is appearing that people refer to oscillation when the frequency is small. Suppose you are going through a garden and a branch of a tree is moving to and fro fashion, so you can say that the branch of tree is oscillating. Okay. Or the swing on which we on which we use in the parks, that we can say the oscillating of swings. Okay. But when the same frequency is higher, frequency that I will discuss, wait for a while, what is frequency, that will become clear. But for time being you can understand frequency means number of motions in just one time period or 1 second. Okay, basically 1 second. So number of complete one round of motion up and down. Okay, so the number of that motion which occurs in 1 second is called frequency. So when the frequency is higher, we say that it is vibrations. So this can be considered as a fundamental difference between oscillation and vibration. So you can see that when we vibrate a string on the musical instrument, we say the string is vibrating, isn't it? So now you can use these two terms freely in your daily life also. Now let us come to some fundamental terms of vibrations like time period, frequency, displacement, amplitude, phase angle, and initial phase, reference circle, and there are many more which we will be introducing to you slowly. So let us discuss something which is called as periodic motion. See, you must have studied in kinematics two kinds of motion. One is rectilinear motion and another is projectile motion. Rectilinear motion means a motion on a 2D plane which be dissolve into x component and y component, I cap and j cap. So that is a rectilinear motion that occurs in a straight line that may be inclined to certain angle with x-axis. And then there is projectile motion, that projectile motion is a motion on certain trajectory, on certain locus. It can be parabolic, it can follow some other also. So there is another kind of motion that is called periodic motion. See, this periodic motion has one thing very specific, that this motion repeats itself after a certain interval of time. Suppose if I take an example of an insect which is crawling up and then again coming down, again crawling up and again coming down. So if we denote the motion of that insect on the graph, it will look something like this, isn't it? So this xt represents a displacement at any time t, and this axis represents time. This capital T is said to be the time period of this periodic motion. Similarly, today is 15th January and it is the day when James Naismith discovered basketball. So if you have an experience of dribbling of basketball, and if we say you are uniformly dribbling it, so if we plot the graph, this is the displacement of the ball above the ground and this is the time axis, and if we plot a graph it would look like this, isn't it? So this is also an example of periodic motion. So if I ask you example of circular motion is also a example of periodic motion. Okay, now after understanding periodic motion, the question comes to the mind that what is the difference between periodic motion and oscillatory motions? isn't it? It may seem that both are similar. Oscillatory motion also repeats itself after a certain interval of time, and periodic motion also repeats itself after a certain interval of time. So we can say one thing surely, that all the oscillatory motions comes under periodic motion, but not all the periodic motions are going to be oscillatory motions. This point is very important. So let us try to understand this more elaborately. Okay. See, in periodic motion, there is no as such equilibrium position. Now, equilibrium, we all know that the position where the net force on the body is zero. But in oscillatory motion, there is presence of one equilibrium position at which the net force at the body is zero. Okay. There may be velocity, body may be moving or body may be at rest, but net force is zero. Now we have discussed there are different types of equilibrium position: neutral equilibrium, stable equilibrium, and unstable equilibrium. If I take the example of stable equilibrium position, and in that we take a bowl in which we keep a ball, okay, and this is the equilibrium position of the ball, okay, this position at which net force on the ball is zero. Now if we move this ball slightly towards any of the other sides, the ball will tends to return to its equilibrium position by doing certain to and fro motion. So this motion in which the body tends to reach to its equilibrium position, so such a motion is said to be oscillatory motion. All right. And in case of periodic motion, it is very often that body undergoing a periodic motion is having an equilibrium position. Okay, it's not necessary in all the periodic motion there must be a equilibrium position, no. But yeah, as we have discussed that all the oscillatory motions are examples of periodic motions. So there may be presence of equilibrium position in periodic motion, but not necessary. Okay. So the same thing is written here, that very often the body undergoing periodic motion has an equilibrium position somewhere inside its path. So when the body is at this position of equilibrium, no net external force acts on it. I hope this must be clear to you. Therefore, if it is left there at rest, it will remain there forever. And if the body is given a small displacement from the position, a force comes into existence, play, which tries to bring the body back to its equilibrium point and giving rise to oscillations and vibrations. So this is the crux of what is difference between periodic motion and oscillatory motion. So now we can conclude that every oscillatory motion is periodic. Every oscillatory motion is periodic, but every periodic motion need not be oscillatory. Okay. If you take an example, circular motion is a periodic motion, but it's not oscillatory. Okay. So this should be very clear what is periodic motion and what is oscillatory motion. Okay. It's all about the presence of equilibrium position. Now the oscillatory motion can have different equations, but if we take the simplest form of oscillatory motions, that is called as SHM, simple harmonic motion. As the name suggests, it's simple to analyze, and also it's harmonic. Harmonic means something which repeats after a certain interval of time, like we have studied sinusoidal curves, sine curves, cosine curves. Both these curves repeats itself in a period, and all these sinusoidal curves are said to be harmonic curves. Okay, so SHM have an equation similar to these sine or cosine curves. Okay, so this motion arises when the force on the oscillating body is directly proportional to its displacement. Now this is very important. The very basic of SHM is that the force acting on the body FB is directly proportional to displacement of the body at time t xt. Okay, from the mean position. Okay, which is also the equilibrium position. So equilibrium position is also said to be mean position, and we measure the displacement of the body from this mean position only. So this force FB which is acting on the body is directly proportional to that displacement, and that force tries to restore the body to its original position, that is the mean position or the equilibrium position. So you can understand it very easily from this example of a spring bob. If this is a spring and I attach a block here, okay, and if I stretch this block with certain distance x0 and release it, then what will happen? The block will now start facing a force towards this direction, okay, FB, and this will be directly proportional to the displacement that we have given to it initially, x0. Okay, so at any position x, the force on the block of mass m is going to be equal to, FB will be equal to k times x. Okay, this k is spring constant, and such a kind of motion will be said as oscillation motion, and its equation can be given as SHM, simple harmonic motion, that will be having a sine or cosine curves. Further, at any point in its oscillation, this force is always directed towards the mean position. Okay, this force is always, so this is the mean position. Okay, this is the mean position of the block, and this is the extreme position. So the force will be always directed towards the mean position. Okay, and we also see that due to this restoring force FB, body tends to reach its mean position or equilibrium position slowly with time. So oscillating bodies eventually comes to rest at their equilibrium positions. Now this is only because of damping or some friction which is present in the medium surrounding to that block, okay, or the oscillating body. So damping is the term which we use in this oscillation. However, if we want to keep the body simply oscillating, then they can be applied with an external force. So such a motion will be forced vibration, and under forced vibration the body will keep on oscillating by means of some external periodic agency. So we will discuss the phenomena of damped and forced oscillation later on also, but before that we will cover up some more basics of simple harmonic motion in upcoming videos. So stay tuned and stay safe. Thank you.